we talked about this a little bit, and I know we were kind of going back and forth about equality when it comes to actors and actual crew members, right? Mm-hmm. So this portion what we're discussing is burnout. Normally you don't see actors kind of burnt out because they don't have, or they get the amenities. Normally that crew, they don't get those amenities, right? So
yeah,
it's never gonna be the same, man.
If psychologically, I think we think we're the heroes of our story, and our hero can handle anything, and we go Hercules mode. But that's not it, right? So at some point, we have to let the body reset. If you work out 7 days a week, you're not going to get stronger than you would if you only did 3, because your body's not resting. Your enzymes aren't getting out there. You know, everything has to build and grow and rest, and you have to get the water, and you have to get the whatever. Coffee's not going to make you better for 3 months. It's only going to make you better for the next 30 minutes. You know, so finding a ways to not have short-term solutions and having long-term health. That's how you need to deal with burnout, is the fact that, you know, if you finish a project and they pushed you like crazy and somebody offered you one right after it, but you're tired, take a break. I had to do it this summer. Like I was working this super long project. We had 100 days of production, right? And at the end of it, I was tired, man. I was done. I was supposed to work a feature immediately afterwards. And luckily it got postponed. And the moment it got postponed, Crystal, my girlfriend, bought tickets on a cruise. She said, I'm not going to let you schedule anything. We're going. We're taking a break. You know, and she had to shut me down because she knew I was burning out. She knew I was, but I was going to keep pushing. You know, we're used to doing that.
From you being on set, do you, now I want to go back to that second question. From you being on set, do you see actors going through this burnout?
I see actors going through a different type of fatigue most of the time. A lot of the times when they're going through fatigue, there is a pressure to the environment, the situations, but I do think we also, you know, in situations baby them in a way. But I definitely have seen talent go through, you know, especially when there's a day of emotion. You know, I think that's when they deal with a lot of it bottled into a very quick amount of time. They'll deal with the fatigue of, you know, I have to cry for the 7th time in a row.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's tough. You had to turn it off, turn it back on, turn it off, turn it back on, and I'll have to relight. So an hour later, I'm going to do the same thing again. I have to remember
Sometimes
my movements.
Days later.
Yeah, it's just, you know, there is a mental side of that, but I do think on the physical side, we give them a lot of an easier time. You know, usually less hours, better turnaround. But so I think it's just different. But they're also doing prep work while we're not doing prep work because they have to memorize stuff. So.
Well, we are doing prep work. We're charging batteries. We're building the rigs. We got to get there early. We're the last guys to leave.
Then what I would say is the bad talent, right? The bad actors that are just come in to clock in, they are not dealing with the fatigue that we're dealing with. But then there's the ones that actually dedicate, and they're probably just as tired as we are. You know.
What do you think about that? Do you think?
I think it's not even. It's not supposed to be even. Talent.
Why isn't it supposed to be even? Because that's the problem that I have.
I mean, talent doesn't do any physical work in a way. I think. I mean,
they don't. Yeah, I'm not. You know, I don't think they.
I mean, we've been there for hours, and you got people that are just doing that. They're not setting up for lighting. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. They're not. Remember when? Remember when the slider broke, and we had to go out and buy some screws to tie it back up because it won't tie it up. They don't have to go through that. It's just. It's
well, we're not. I don't think we're asking.
I mean, but under the same premise, we shouldn't pay our script supervisors. They only sit there all day.
No, you're right. I mean, you do what you do.
I don't. Yeah. I'm not like comparing it in that kind of way. I'm comparing it in a way where the catering aspect comes in, right?
Yeah.
The pampering.
And, you
know, I don't think we're taken care of as crew members.
But you know what? I think we don't take care of ourselves as crew members. Here's the truth is, and this is you're right. What is being offered, but we don't negotiate our contracts the way they negotiate contracts.
Yeah.
We take jobs because we feel like we have to take jobs. We try to fill up our schedule as early as possible. And sometimes we should have spent there and said, no, I needed to lose this job to get the better one, to get the better pay. And the better environment. We sell ourselves short, right? And the big DPs, the big gaffers or whatever, they're making bank for the abuse that they're physically taking, right? And we sometimes tend to put ourselves in the same amount of abuse for a lower price and a lower benefit because we don't have representation for the negotiation. And that's a lot of what the strike stuff was going on because, you know, residuals were getting cut back and hours and all of it. Yeah.
And that wasn't just actors doing this, you know, the complaining and the strike back on the
right. A lot of writers. It started with writers and then it was SAG. Yeah.
Okay, right,
afterwards.
Right. You know, I get it. I get it. You know, yes, I know what you're saying. The talent does make the film. The story makes the film, but we make the film as well.
I have a what sells the film? That's the better question. What sells the film?
Yeah, the story.
Because actually, the story doesn't sell the film.
It's the A-list actors.
The actor sells the film. They know they're the brand. Yeah. So if I'm gonna make a commercial for Coca-Cola, the bottle sitting on the table didn't do any work. I did all the work.
Right.
The bottle's a brand. It doesn't matter. It mattered. You know, that's the focus of everything that's going into it. So if you can't sell their face, you don't make money. If you don't make money, we don't have jobs. Yeah. So they know that, and that's why they negotiate better.